Understanding Autism Causes and Treatments for Autism, Recommendations on How to Cure Autism. What are the autism causes? The glaring conclusion is that nobody is able to determine what exactly purpose of autism is. However, trying to apprehend feasible reasons can be able to assist with treatment for the individual with autism. Present-day research will argue that autism causes are typically an aggregate of two elements. A genetic issue, which is transmitted through numerous DNA types, as well as factors of an environmental nature. This has not been scientifically validated of direction, however new research display that those two factors could be prime autism reasons. Classical autism is considered as being the maximum excessive case of autism causes in youngsters and adults. Those autism symptoms can be diagnosed by past due language development and in a few cases not being capable of expand language talents in any respect. People with this specific autism disorder will also experience now not being capable of communicate with others and have a profound dismiss for human emotion and in most situations will lack it completely. Now not having the ability to expose affection or feeling of empathy is a main symptom of autism when wanting to diagnose the severity of autism. Even though autism symptoms often appear within the toddler stage of an infant's early improvement, one also can decide in various approaches if a baby shows sure signs of autism. Exploring the causes of autism may be quite an arguable concern because as already established there isn't one particular reason of this ailment. One theory is that vaccines may additionally purpose autism. Especially the vaccine used to save you measles, as those vaccines should cause problems within the gut location which a few argue could in the end lead to autism. This principle has of root now not been proved. The more likely concept is that autism will be an end result of a genetic disorder. Households wherein autism is gift are more frequently at risk of having youngsters with autistic dispositions. Also, there is a risk that when there may be an autistic infant for your own family, the chances of some other baby with autism symptoms being born is significantly increased. There are also researches that accept as true with that autism can develop in those with higher mind boom activity, as people with autism have a tendency to have a larger mind and processing statistics is likewise very extraordinary to those no longer recognized with autism. But, this is an ongoing study subject matter at diverse universities and the idea has now not been completely verified so far. Proof suggests that Sure Meals products might also make contributions to the causing of autism. These merchandise will consist of gluten that's wheat and also positive dairy products. The evidence is unluckily now not yet sturdy enough to support the idea of certain researchers who feel that certain food items can motive autism on the early degrees of children improvement. It's miles increasingly unclear when looking to set up what exactly causes autism, and even though numerous researches contradict every other, the maximum believable motive of autism can likely be that it is something involving a genetic disease. Treating this ailment with the essential interest will handiest make certain that the individual with autism be as comfortable as viable and also be capable of regularly respond to positive applications of remedy. Autism reasons might not be decided as yet free articles, but it is clean that different factors may want to cause the improvement of this disorder. Human beings with autism truly want help for them a good way to stay usually. When you have an autistic toddler and also you wish to realize the way to remedy autism, read this piece because it discusses common remedies for autism and what you may do to help your kid. There are exclusive treatments for autism, and a few that paintings for an autistic baby may not work for every other child. You can say that the simplest methods of a way to cure autism can be trial and blunders and can take years, however, as a minimum, the people with autism still have hope. Underneath are the maximum famous treatments that have been seen to bring about positive outcomes. Physical therapy. A lot of autistic individuals have weaker our bodies or weaker muscles. Therefore, an autism remedy is to allow them to undergo bodily therapy if you want to boom now not handiest their energy, however also their frame coordination, and additionally permit them to interact in sports activities. Speech remedy. Speech remedy is also one of the treatments for autism, as an autistic child or adult normally has problems with language, speech, and verbal communication abilities. Whilst you talk to a person who suffers from autism spectrum disease, you'll observe that the phrases they utter are tough to recognize or are not truly nicely articulated and stated. Therefore, one of the answers to the question of the way to cure autism is to have human beings with autism go through speech or language remedy. Conduct therapy. Because autistic people have problems communicating with others, they're generally misunderstood. It's far consequently regular for them to feel annoyed, and that leads to them throwing tantrums or acting out. Behavior therapy, for that reason, is protected in the listing of treatments for autism that need to be done in order to correct the negative attitudes of an autistic infant, and inspire wonderful behaviors in her or him. Play therapy. Extra often than now not, autistic youngsters do now not surely recognize a way to play. In the event that they play, they do it in another way. One of the solutions on the way to cure autism that specialists endorse is to allow your infant go through play remedy, as playing can assist in building communication abilities, speech skills, and of root, social abilities. This may seem like a weird remedy for the general public, however human beings with autism want this, most mainly youngsters who've autism spectrum sickness. Other than letting your little one go through remedies for autism, there are some steps you have to take so you can make an autistic infant live a better lifestyles. 1. Consistency is one of the keys. You ought to keep on with a ordinary or a schedule, as most autistic human beings have a hard time in adapting to modifications, regardless of how small the changes are. As an instance, you must look at the equal meal times each day. Your toddler must have the equal sound asleep and waking agenda each day. Those are some of the recommendations on how to treatment autism. 2. High-quality reinforcement also allows human beings with autism. You need to praise or reward your youngster for every suitable aspect he or she has executed, no matter how little that aspect can be. As an example, if your angel brushed his or her teeth without you telling her or him to, you have to reward your child or supply him a praise e.g. give him chocolate, let your child watch a fave cartoon, computer-era articles, etc. Those are incredibly endorsed treatments for autism and techniques you'll ought to perform a good way to assist remedy an autistic infant and make existence better for your daughter or your son.